Hi class, so today I'm going to be talking about my website we made throughout the semester, and yes, so here I have my homepage where I'm just talking about what the website's based off of, which is changes in college athletics through NIL, basically how athletes are going from amateurs to employees because of the money they're making. And then I have a little Google slideshow that we made, just that I like Google Slideshow because I think it would be good if you're teaching a class to show them like what's it about. So here's a few things about my Google Slideshow. And then on my Meet the Teacher, I have my headshot and just a biography about me, where I grew up, how I got into playing tennis, which helped lead me to getting to LSU, and just some fun things that I like. On the RY page, we have the standards for education, which we learned about over the school year, which was really important that you need when you're teaching classes and for teachers to know. I don't want to be a teacher personally, but if I were a teacher, this would definitely be something that would be important to. And then I have a poster here that we made from Canva, just explaining the differences between the learner, the leader, the citizens, the collaborators, the designers, like all those differences. And then just these two tweets that I found off of Twitter that I liked about the standards and games that we could use to learn more about them. And then I have the technology models. So here I'm talking about the philosophies I picked that I like, which we have progressivism, that I liked the way this philosophy taught children because it used real world situations. And then TPAC, which is like the framework that aligns with progressivism that I chose. And yeah, that's just from Padlet. And then we have our future ready skills, which shows all the skills that you need to be learning and do critical thinking and communications and collaborations. And we did this on Canva, which is here. We used AI to do this. And these are the ones I picked. I picked collaboration, time management, creativity, communication, and yeah, digital literacy. So next on my website, I have our resources, which is when we got a little more hand-on in the class. So we first learned about podcasting, which I really liked learning about podcasting because I saw how more podcasts are being used to teach students, and I think they're a really good way to teach students because, like me personally, I understand better when I'm hearing something rather than just reading it. So, more about podcasts here. We reflected on a podcast we listened to and put a little bit of that in there. And then here's 3 ways we used Canva to show like 3 ways podcasts can help, which I chose. My 3 ways were listening skills, different learning styles, and critical thinking. And then we did mobile apps, which we learned. I like to learn about this because we learned about different mobile apps you could use as a teacher. I picked SurveyMonkey. Then we had the gamification where we made a whole lesson plan, which was really cool to see, which would definitely be something that would be helpful to use as a teacher when it comes to making lessons, because this was just a really easy way to generate a whole lesson. And then finally, we did our digital storytelling, which is when we made our Canva movie. And I liked this because I think digital storytelling would be a great way to teach your kids, just to get them more into, like, instead of just explaining what they did, I think it was more fun this way and more interesting, and I went into more detail. So this is my script, then my story here on my trip to Europe. Then we had digital images, which is, we used Rakelet, which I really liked Rakelet. I think that would be a great thing to teach with, because it just was very easy, and it got the resources and everything you needed. And then lastly, we had our digital assessments, which we just made an exit ticket, which is a really good thing also for teachers, because it shows if your students really were paying attention to what you were teaching them. And mine was on NIL and college athletics, obviously. And then, yeah, data and cybersecurity. We learned about FERPA and COPA, which are important to have and know as a teacher, because it just, some of the federal laws you need when you're in education. And then a little Canva poster I made about it. And lastly, on the website, we got our Apple Teacher Certification badge, which is here, and then just my screencast. Thank you. I had really fun this semester.